Good morning, Year 6. We are doing some project today and I am going to share my screen with you to show you what we're doing. We're not starting here. Oh, red blood cells, that's a bit of a clue. Right, we are looking at blood composition, okay? So today, all of you will be able to define blood and lots of you will be able to define what it is and what its composition is. Most of you will be able to know the function of each aspect of blood, and some of you will be able to understand and explain to someone else why blood is important and what we would do if one of those aspects was missing, what would happen to our bodies. Okay, so I want you to spend 1 minute of your time writing everything you know about blood down somewhere. So grab a piece of paper, go and write everything you know about blood down in 1 minute. I've got a timer here, I'm going to set it going. Ready, steady, go. Think about everything you know. Colour, what's its job? Where does it come from? Where does it go to?
It's the gloves.
Shh, concentrate. I've got a helper today for today's project lesson. Someone to get messy. Okay, not long left now. Stop doing that. Okay, you've got about 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think your time is pretty much almost up. Fantastic. Hopefully you've written more than just it is red. And if you haven't, that's okay, because by the end of today's lesson, you will hopefully know a lot more about blood than you did before. Okay. First up, I want you to have a look at these sentences, okay? There are 3 terms, veins, arteries, and capillaries, and they make up the circulatory system and our circulation system in our bodies. But what does what, okay? So one of them transports blood back to the heart. One of them transports blood from the heart to the organs and the muscles. And one of them forms a connection between the vessels that take the blood from the heart and the vessels that take blood to the heart, okay? But which does which? I want you to have a look and see if you can work it out. Okay, Josh, as my helper today, what do you think? Capillaries, what do you think they do?
Capillaries might go at the bottom.
Go at the bottom, yeah, form a connection between the vessels that take the blood from the heart and the vessels that take the blood to the heart. So those main vessels that go to and from the heart, if you think of them in a form of like a motorway, they're the big ones, whereas the capillaries are like your little side roads, your A roads, okay? And they take the blood directly to where it's needed. And they're much smaller, so if you get cut on a capillary, you're less likely to die, which is a good thing. Okay, what about veins?
Transport blood back to the heart.
Back to the heart, brilliant, well done. Yep, veins take your blood back to the heart. If you look in your wrist, you can sometimes see your veins. They're blue, okay, and that's because they carry deoxygenated blood. That leaves us with arteries. What's the answer for arteries?
Transport blood from the heart to organs and muscles.
Perfecto. Okay, our arteries are the big chunky ones and they pump the blood. Well, they don't pump the blood, the heart pumps the blood, but they carry the blood out to your organs and muscles. All right, quick word of the day. You know that I used to do the English, and so therefore I love a bit of word of the day. Don't want you to write this one down, but I wanted to talk through the word composition because it's crucial that we're using scientific language when we're doing a scientific lesson. So composition means the way something is put together, okay? It's a noun, it's a thing, okay? Another word that sounds like it or means the same thing is construction, okay? So how something is built. So the composition of blood is very important. Okay, so we're gonna make our own blood and we are gonna need some things. So we are going to need water, which I've got in a bottle. Lovely. If you've got a little bottle or if you're doing this at home and you've got like anything you can put water in, that's fine. I'm doing it in a big bottle because that way you can see it. Tiny marshmallows. I've got little white marshmallows here. I'll show you them in a minute. Cheerios or cereal hoops, I've got those. And what else do we need? Oats or sprinkles, these. I've got some sprinkles. And then we need yellow food colouring, thank you Joshua, and red food colouring. Right, now, first of all, you will need to soak your Cheerios in a bowl, because at the moment our Cheerios are this OT colour, and that's the wrong colour. We need them to be red because they're going to take the job of our red blood cells. So you need to do that now. Right, what we also need to do right now is we need to look at me, and we are going to have a go at making our blood. So the first thing we're going to make, Josh, is we're going to make the plasma, okay? And plasma is the thing that blood is held in, and it's yellow. So we need to change our water to yellow. So Josh is going to put in a few drops. He's got gloves on because he's learnt the hard way not to get his hands all messy. He's going to put some drops into the bottle to turn our water yellow. Don't have to put too much in. Lovely job. Okay, put the lid back on. I'll put the lid on here, and then he's going to give it a lovely shake to get our plasma. Now, don't overshake it if you can help it, because we don't want it too frothy. All right? Yep. Clearly not going for that. Fantastic. All right, good job. Yeah, not too messy. Fabulous.
Yes.
So you can see our plasma is now a nice yellow colour, and I'm going to show you a bit more about plasma right now. So plasma is, she says, the bit that all your blood cells sit in, okay? And it contains nutrients, electrolytes, and vitamins, and the hormones that keep your body ticking over. So when you are getting really angry at your parents and you can't think why, it's because of the hormones in your plasma that are creating this, okay? It's really important that we have these vitamins and nutrients and electrolytes, because without them we get an imbalance in our blood. It makes us feel really poorly, and you might have to have a blood transfusion. So it's very important that the plasma does its job. Okay, next job is to get these red blood cells. So we are going to get our red blood cells going, and I'm going to go, do you want to grab them for me, Josh, on the side? So I have soaked my red blood cells. You show them to the camera. Lovely job, okay?
Yeah.
They're nice and circular because red blood cells are this funny shape. Now, they don't have a hole in the middle, like, do you want to pop some of them in? They don't have a hole in the middle like Cheerios, but they are a similar sort of round shape, yeah? They are a roundish shape. And they've been specially designed by nature to have this special kind of round disky shape, you see, and what it does is it allows the most oxygen to be held inside the cell, okay? Oh dear, these are going everywhere. Don't worry about it. It's a messy thing. Science is always messy. All right? And what happens is when your red blood cells go to your heart and then to your lungs, when they get to your lungs, they pick up oxygen, and it's held in the red blood cells by something called hemoglobin. And what hemoglobin does is it captures, ooh, this is really messy, it captures the oxygen and holds it in the cell until it gets, honestly, this is going absolutely everywhere, until it gets to your organs, and then the hemoglobin reacts with another chemical and it releases that oxygen so your muscles and your organs can use it. Okay, I'm going to put another handful in. Now, if you are doing this along at home with me, what I want you to do is keep putting these red blood cells in. You should have lots and lots and lots and lots, because they do make up the biggest part of your blood. Obviously, plasma is the greatest because that carries everything, but you have far many more red blood cells than you do white blood cells or platelets. So make sure you put quite a lot of those in. Oh dear, it's going very wrong. All right, okay. So I'm going to now share with you again my screen just to show you a little bit more about red blood cells. So they carry oxygen from your lungs to your heart and then to your muscles, as I said before. And hemoglobin, it's a funny spelling. It's probably because it's Greek or Latin, I should think. And yeah, they're very important. The other thing is, yes, they have no nucleus. Okay, a nucleus is the middle part of a cell, and generally it's like the brains of the cell, but they don't have one because actually they need most space for oxygen. Okay, it's also the hemoglobin that gives the red blood cells their red colour. Right, white blood cells. Josh. Now, this is the bit where I've had to keep Josh and his brothers away as much as I possibly can. I've just lost this. Here we go. Stop share. Marshmallows. So we've got some white marshmallows here. Ooh, okay. We had white and pink ones, so the boys have eaten the pink ones. So Josh, we now need to add our white blood cells. Yes. Our white blood cells now need to go into our blood. Now, these bad boys are very important, okay? White blood cells are our soldier blood cells, okay? So if you think of our red blood cells as being like our postman blood cells, posting the oxygen to our body, the white blood cells are our soldier blood cells. They ward off infection. So if you get poorly, your white blood cells will go and fight the bad bacteria and bugs, and they will kill off the infection until you are well again. So they're brilliant. Now, doctors can, by magical medicine, count white blood cells, and they can tell if you have a high white blood cell count that you are actually fighting an infection. Your body makes more of these blood cells as it needs them, okay? So on a normal day, you might be bimbling along with not that many. We'll stop there, Josh. But then if you get poorly, shaking it all up again, if you get poorly, then you will have more of them, so your body makes them to order, which is amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about white blood cells. Here we go. So they are part of the immune system. Now, can you see on this particular graphic, it shows that white blood cell eating up something called a pathogen, okay? And a pathogen is something bad, something that is like bad bacteria that has got into your body, and it eats it up and then it disposes of it, okay? White blood cells are also really important because they, once they fought an infection, they can then fight it again and they'll be more successful the second time. So in the news at the moment, lots of people are having the vaccine for COVID, aren't they? And that's a very important job for your white blood cells, because what they will do is when you get injected with the vaccine, your white blood cells will go and fight the COVID, because you get a tiny amount, and it's not actually live. It won't actually make you poorly. They've taken out the bit that actually makes you poorly, but it doesn't matter because your white blood cells get to know the COVID, they fight it. And so then if you get COVID for real, your white blood cells are like, ha, we know how to fight this one, and they will stop you getting poorly. Okay. Platelets. Now, let's have a look. So now, before in school, when we've done this with platelets, we have done it with like purple pom-poms, because actually they're spiky. But instead, we're going to use sprinkles. So what we're going to have to do is add our platelets. Now, these platelets, I think I'll do this bit. You can't see the floor. It's just a nightmare. So we've done not too many platelets. Now, platelets are, you can do some shaking though, mate. Okay, platelets are important. Platelets stop our blood from getting away if we cut ourselves, okay? So if we say have an accident and you cut your hand open, then your platelets band together and they stop your blood from escaping. And that is really, really important, because obviously you don't want all your blood to flow out anytime you cut yourself, or you cut your teeth, your lip, brushing your teeth, or your chin, or your nose, whatever. Platelets stop that from happening. So let me show you again this picture. See, so platelets, they band together and they stop you from losing all your blood, which is really, really, really vital. Okay, so blood is 44%. So almost half red blood cells and almost half plasma. So perhaps I could put less water in and more Cheerios. There are very few white blood cells if you're healthy. But if you are unhealthy, you'll have more white blood cells and then a tiny amount of platelets. You can't actually see our platelets now. They've disappeared.
They're at the bottom.
They're at the bottom. Have they sunk?
Yes,
Oh yeah, they have. They've sunk. They've sunk and they've lost their colour. How bizarre. Okay.
They're white.
Okay. So what I would like you to do now, Year 6, is have a pause on the video. And I would like you to see if you can work out which words go where. I'm not going to make you do this, Josh. I'm going to give you a break. Which words go where? Okay, so have a go at that and then I'll come back. Okay, so how did you get on? So blood is a mixture of different types of cells suspended in a straw-coloured liquid called
Blood.
Plasma. Remember the yellow stuff was plasma. The main function of something is to carry oxygen and nutrients. The main function of blood. Yes, you're right, blood. Oxygen and nutrients to the body's cells, remove waste products and protect the body against infection. Okay, different components of the blood carry out different roles. Okay, hopefully you got those. I know Josh didn't, but never mind. He's in here.
I got one.
Okay, so how do we know so much about blood? How do we know so much about our blood?
I don't.
You don't. Scientists have been investigating blood for a really long time. Okay, in 1628, English physician William Harvey discovered blood was pumped around the body. Okay, so that I'm trying to think what that's before. 1628, around the sort of time that we discovered that Australia existed.
4,000 years ago.
Not 4,000, but maybe 400. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't until 1900 that we discovered that there were different types of blood, and there have been lots of experiments replacing or using blood of animals if people got ill and things like that, and it always went horribly wrong and people died. And then they started doing human-to-human blood transfusions, and sometimes it went well, but a lot of time people died. And that was because in 1900, Karl Landsteiner, who's an Austrian scientist, discovered that there were 3 different blood types, A, B and O. And actually, 2 years later, they discovered there's a 4th type of blood, AB. And he won the Nobel Prize for Medicine because of this, okay? And everybody has a different blood type. Now, I know my blood type. My blood type is A positive, and your blood type is A positive because Mr. Fergs' blood type is also A positive. And generally, if your parents both have the same blood type, you will too, all right? And depending on your blood type, you can only accept blood from either other people with the same blood type, or if you're O, you can have anybody's blood and anybody can have yours. Just the way it works. So what I would like you to do is go back to the DB primary page now and have a quick look. This is a very short BBC bite-sized video on blood, what it does and where it goes. Okay. You should have learnt a lot more, not least that red food colouring is lethal. You should know an awful lot more about blood now. You should know about the plasma that carries the nutrients. You should know about the red blood cells that carry the oxygen via hemoglobin. You should also know about the white blood cells that fight infection and the platelets. Oh, he's eating the white blood cells at the moment. And the platelets, which have all sunk to the bottom, which stop your blood from disappearing. Now, if you don't have enough platelets, what do you think might happen to you?
Die.
Yeah, why?
Because they don't have enough blood.
What would happen to your blood if there were no platelets? It would
Cut out and
it would flow out and run away. So that's really important. Platelets are important. If you didn't have enough white blood cells, then you couldn't fight infections, and maybe even like things like a common cold might kill you. So people who, like in the book we're reading, Pig Heart Boy, when they talk about him being immunosuppressed, he doesn't have enough of these white blood cells to fight the infections that he's going to have. So it makes him really poorly. If your body doesn't get enough oxygen through the blood, what do you think might happen then?
What?
Yeah, you might die as well. So your blood is so important. It is probably one of the most important things that you have in your body. If you didn't have blood, you wouldn't be alive right now.
What about your head?
Right. So what I want you to do is give yourself another minute or two. I might be generous. Give yourself 2 minutes and jot down some more things that you have learned about blood during today's lesson, because tomorrow we're going to use that to write something. Okay, so thank you for joining today's lesson. Thanks, Josh, for your help. Well done. High five. That's why you get to eat those marshmallows. And I shall see the rest of you tomorrow, hopefully without any more sidekicks. Okay, take care.